Hello and welcome, I am Patchworth, your game clown, once again, and welcome to Fabled Lands. Fabled Lands is unlike any other role-playing game. The reason is that you can play the books in any order, coming back to earlier books whenever you wish. You only need one book to start, but by collecting other books in the series, you can explore more of this rich fantasy world. Instead of just one single storyline, there are virtually unlimited adventures to be had in Fabled Lands. All you need is 2 die, an eraser, and a pencil. If you already have if you have already adventured using other books in the series, you will need to know your entry point to the book. Turn to that section now, though note that it will be a good idea to read the special notes for Dunpala section first in order to clarify some of the rules for this particular adventure. If this is your first Fabled Lands book, please read the rest of the rules before starting at section 1. You will keep the same adventuring persona throughout the book, starting out as a 7th rank count or countess. In this adventure, we're gradually gaining mind power, wealth, and experience throughout the series. Yes. So this is, as I have said, the Fabled Lands. The Serpent King's Domain. This is actually a demo that I am doing for some friends of mine who are looking to kickstart this lovely book. I've already read through the rules and created a character, and so far I'm actually really excited about this. To those of you who haven't actually seen anything like this, by the way, there's the Kickstarter right there. Feel free to take a look at those. This is a choose-your-own-adventure book in which you create a character, you have stats, and it's basically kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, only you're sort of adventuring solo. And as it said, there are going to eventually be other books in it once it's completed, and which are sort of like expansion sets. But for the sake of brevity and getting right into the gameplay, I've already created a character using this very easy to read instruction manual, which I'll sort of like zip through these real quick. But there are... Woo, there's the Dunlapa stuff. But yeah, there's a character sheet right here. There's your adventure sheet, where you create your own character. And I will leave a link to the character that I've created. Just so you know, she is a rogue named Ragamuffin. It's actually an older character that I created years back. It's been years since I've done any D&D stuff whatsoever, so I'm actually really excited about this. And like I said, I'll show you what I've got here. I've got the character sheet all written out on another screen here, but she has 8 charisma, 7 combat, 7 magic, 2 sanctity, 5 scouting, and 9 thievery, of course. And of course, she has 30 stamina and 14 defense, which you will be able to see a little bit of what is going on with that when I post a link of the character sheet. Now, moreover, the game is not fully complete yet, which is why it's going to be on Kickstarter. I haven't seen a section on gods yet, but everybody starts off as rank 7, as it said, so I'm a countess, which is a little weird for a rogue, but yeah, you can actually resurrect if you make arrangements for it, and there'll be sections of the game where you can do that. Your titles, just countess right here. Lovely art style, as you can see already. And you can have up to 12 possessions for the sake of the game, and money and all that stuff. Lovely, lovely art style. I know there'll be details into who the artist is. I don't have the notes in front of me, but oh, and this, look at this. The map is just beautiful. Look at that. Look at the sheer amount of detail and obvious love that's gone into this is already really impressing me. So Like I said, I don't want to go into too many details with the actual instructions. It's all pretty well laid out. You can download it for yourself and check out the demo. So, just for the sake of getting right into it and showing you a little bit of what the game is like, let's hop right in. Ragamuffin's adventure starts on page 1. The white shining serpent comes in your dreams. It slithers through the dark skies as if on land, and then, noticing you, descends. It draws nearer and nearer, and it is immense. You stand on a cliff top looking out over a turbulent sea. Far away, clouds, thunder cracks, and a bolt of lightning strikes the surface of the water. The serpent reaches the cliff top now, and the light touches the scales, does not disturb a single pebble. My God. It coils into a tight circle, and with you at its center, its bodies all around you, is taller than a house, and yet up close you see the faint translucence to it, as if it is not wholly there. You hold out your hand to test its tangibility, and you find that the same translucence is in your own skin. If the serpent is not truly there, neither are you. It raises its triangular head to regard you. Its eyes are great, pale blue stones. Then it murmurs one word, Namagal. The dream ends. Painful near consciousness returns. Yeah, I wake that way sometimes. The clear sky above you is too bright. From time to time, the sun threads its way to your field of vision, remorselessly beating down on you. Blackness comes intermittently. Whether because of night or because you slip in from wakefulness, you can't be sure. It doesn't matter. The dream and the serpent that lingers within them stay far away from you now. And then abruptly you wake to find that hellish sky is gone. You are in a house, lying on a bed. A woman nearby working. You try to speak with her, but choking cough is all you can manage. She passes you a glass of water and says, My name is... I'm not even going to try that one. I'm going to just call her Cell. You may stay here until you're well again, but no longer. A month passes... Whoa, this is happening in real time? Hold on. They just dropped you right into there. Well, at least I didn't meet my party at a tavern. A month passes before you can stand unaided. One day you ask Cell where you are. She tells you, I found you alone in an open boat, waiting for death. You were in the Feathered Lands, near the city of Dunpala. This is my home. The Feathered Lands? Hold on, let's see if we can find that here on the map. So, oh yeah, we can consult the map here. Ooh, there's Dunpala. So these must be the Feathered Lands. So we are currently right here. If you can see my... Yeah, right there. We're right here in Dunpala, or near Dunpala. Okay. That's great. I love that. I love fantasy books. I haven't read them in a long time, but it's one of those things where I just love being able to follow the action with the map. That's a great touch. I love that. Now let's see here. You have no notion of how you've come to this place. You question Cell further and realize you cannot remember the last year of your life. Oh boy, you are suffering from the waking rot, she tells you. Holy crap! A loss of memory is common in those few who survive the disease. Oh geez, thank you, Cell. Good grief. You saved my life. At last you are well enough to leave. Cell, your taciturn healer, walks with you along the edge of Lake Firewater for 3 hours until you can see a city of Dunpala in the distance. We part ways here, she tells you. Take these. And with that, she gives you a small pouch containing 20 shards. Oh, nice. And, oops, a well-balanced fishing gear. Combat 1. Oh, fishing spear. Alright, so we're going to write that down in our little notes here. So I've got shards 20. Beautiful. And I've got +1 for combat with our fishing spear. Now, the directions will actually tell you that anything that is a gear or an item that you can use is actually going to be in bold like that. So that's very clearly labeled in the instructions. Fishing spear. Combat +1. Great. You start to thank her for all that she's done, but she says, "Thank me by never returning to my home. In this land, it's dangerous to help a foreigner. Goodbye." Aw, poor Sel. I miss you already. You watch her for the last time. She walks away the way you have come. Then you turn away to enter Dunpala. The code word gloom. Gloom. Okay, so code words are also explained in the book in great detail, actually. Um, and you can use those if you end up dying, or if you use them, you can lose them. But I definitely recommend just reading in detail. Me explaining it probably is not going to help out too much. We can just write down gloom here and keep moving. So now we go to page 42. Okay, now the important thing to remember about this game is that when it says turn to 42, it doesn't actually mean to turn to page 42. Each one of these paragraphs are actually labeled to in numerical order. So actually, I'm on page 22, as you can see right here. That is where 42 is. Right before that, 41, and after that, 43. So it's not quite like the Choose Your Own Adventure books that I recall, because it'll actually have you turn to a page. This is actually a much easier way to navigate, because you can just follow the numerical order to figure out where your adventure left off. In the old language of Southeast Ancon Konu, I'm sorry guys if I'm butchering your languages here. Dunpala Tselsekatl means the place where stingrays swim. Crikey. It was here that the Fallen Water tribe first settled, living off fish that Lake Firewater provided, and here too that traders from northern continent were first welcomed with open arms. Those early merchants made Dunpala their base in the Feathered Lands, and it rapidly became the largest and richest city of the Weeping Jungle, east of the Weeping Jungle, and yet such prominence has not come without bloodshed. Foreign boats first landed in Dunpala more than 2 centuries ago. Since then, warriors have swept from the jungle to attack the city 4 times, slaughtering every foreigner present and much of the city's native populace beside. In each case, it has taken decades for commercial links to mend and grow strong once more. These days, those who choose to live within Dunpala keep a wary eye on the jungle to the west. Yeah, I did see that there was a jungle to the west there. Come on. Oops. Okay, so it looks like the trade routes are all going to be here along the river. That's cool. For some reason I thought it was on a coast city, so looks like in order to enter this adventure, we actually drifted in sea on that boat and somehow made it down the river where Cell ended up picking us up. That's interesting. That's very interesting. The people of Dunpala tend to be resilient or desperate opportunists, the brand of pirate or merchants willing to brave the dangerous waters. The Zombie River right there. Boom. Now we have a name for the river. In pursuit of fortune. This is especially true of those who migrate across from the jungle for abandoning their families and obligations in the West. They are considered criminals. To succeed in reaching Dunpala, they must be hardy indeed. Dunpala has spilled into Lake Firewater, its tall immigrant buildings built on the stilts whenever the ground becomes soft. Very cool. And yet Dunpala is not always as lawless as it might seem. Foreigners face stringent limits on buying property within the city and exporting goods. In practice, this forces many traders to work through native intermediaries. The king of Eastern Ancon Konu, Whispering Wind, makes his home in Dunpala. In truth, he is responsible for little more than the international imports and exports passing through this region, and yet this duty alone makes him an influential figure. Oh, look at that! And now here's the choices. Oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff I can do. Holy macaroons! Alright, hold on. Looking to buying a townhouse. I don't need to do that, but I can buy a townhouse. Visit the temple. Let's see. Visit a shrine. Visit a theater of the obscure. Ooh, theater of the obscure. Explore by day. Explore by night. Visit the Eagles Tavern. We're gonna have to visit the tavern because that's where meet a lot of information. We're gonna just gather some info here. Be right back while I go to 4. 4. The Call of Eagles Tavern is a narrow, four-floor building with fine mosquito netting covering all of its windows. Situated near the harbor, it's a popular spot for sailors working the route between Dunpala and Smogma. That sounds like a lovely place to visit. You may stay here if you wish. The cost of 2 shards per day. Each day that you rest here allows you to recover 1 point of stamina up to your maximum. The woman smiling who runs the establishment tells you that the tavern's nominal owner and is in fact named Call of Eagles. I love the naming in this. This seems to be sort of like native inspired. I hesitate to say what kind of natives, but it seems very, very much that kind of down-to-earth sort of stuff. I'm loving this so far. Okay. In truth, he is more of a craftsman than an innkeeper. He welcomes visitors to his workshop behind the building. What the heck? I'm a people person. I'm gotta learn all the influential people. Let's go to 95 and find out what kind of stuff our good friend Call of Eagles makes. 95. Call of Eagles is a tall Dunpalin with forearms marked with the scars of years of smithing. He fidgets a little as he talks about his work as an artificer, creator of magical items. You, my friend, we've got to talk. After some discussion, you have an idea of what sort of items he can create. Consider the list below for more information. Ooh, a crystal knife. Ooh, a flute. A lantern. Oh, here we go. The code word endless. So you can actually come back here and talk to Call of Eagles if you've got that code word, and maybe get some more stuff. But yeah, I don't actually have much survival gear here since I have something for combat. Let's see what that lantern actually does. A Zibulban lantern. Oh, Zibulba. The bulbin lantern will allow its bearer to more easily see the denizens of Elaz Karnaquen. This is almost Mayan inspired, I feel. The spirit world, when they roam abroad in the realm of men. This lantern has been known to summon such creatures on occasion. Sounds magical. Oh, I do have magic, though. I have 7 magic. That might be something to do. Let's see. To make such a lantern, Call of Eagles require a lantern of either sea green lens or a Savorit prism. I'm going to write these items down, and I'm going to keep an eye on these for this because that sounds really interesting. So yeah, we'll come back here when we can actually craft that because we don't even have close to that amount of stuff for our work. But that is something I want that. That sounds like it would be very interesting for our work. Be that whatever it is. I'm not sure what kind of rogue I'm going to be yet. Alright, let's go back to the tavern and see if we can't glean any more information here. Oh, no, well, I guess the 95 actually leads us back to the other magical items. So I'm guessing that most of these are going to be a little bit more expensive than I can afford right now. So let's keep this place in mind for that lantern, and let's just go back to the tavern now this time. Oh, here we go. Oh, cool. Look at that. Now that actually takes us to a different section than we originally came for. And if you have the code word clutch or gloom in the box, and the box above is not ticked, place a tick in it and return to 28. So we would end up ticking that, which means we've actually used that now. So we can't use gloom again. So place a tick in it and return to 28. If you have neither code word or the box has already been ticked, turn to 42. So this is new information, like one time only information. So to 28 we go. 28. You got a lot of nerve coming here. The yell comes from behind you as you are leaving the tavern. You turn, and the man screaming at you is a short, wiry figure in a quilted cotton armor. Most notably, his right hand has been severed at the elbow. You protest that you've never seen this man before, but he screams your name along with a string of invectives. He certainly knows you. And then you realize the truth. You have met him during the months of your life you can't remember. Eager to learn more, you ask when you previously crossed paths, but your question only angers him. You mean you don't even remember doing this to me? He shakes the stump of an arm at you and then draws a dagger and lunges at you, berserk. You count yourself lucky that he's already quite drunk and, you guess, originally right-handed. So we have a one-armed man, combat 5, defense 8, and stamina 14. So we're going to return to 28 in just a moment. I want to show you, just so I'm not explaining it to you more likely incorrectly, how combat works. Fighting! When a character is fighting an enemy, roll 2 die and add your combat score. You need to have a higher. You need to roll high. You need to roll higher than the enemy's defense. The amount you roll above the enemy's defense is the number of stamina he loses. If the enemy is now down to 0 stamina, then he is defeated. Otherwise, he will strike back at you using the same procedure. Oh, okay. If you survive, then you get a chance to attack again, and the battle goes on until you are victorious. So, easily enough, basically it's a turn-based sort of thing here. I'll roll 2 dice and then add my combat, which, as I've said, is actually 8, because my original is 7, plus the 1 from my fishing spear. And so when we go back down to the tavern, I'll roll things up using some digital die, which unfortunately you can't see with my setup. And we'll be able to see if we survive this. I think I like our odds. Okay, rolling my die. So I rolled a 7, so plus my combat of 8, that's 15 damage. And since he has 8 defense, that will make it 7 damage. So with 7 damage, we're down to half health here. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is obviously a low level character right here. So let me roll the die for him and see what we get. Ooh, you got a 10 there. So that's 15 combat. So minus my defense of 14. So 15. Okay, so I'm down for 1 health. So let me mark me down to 29 there. Oof! I thought that was going to be a lot worse. That defense is pretty good. We might need to get some better armor, though, I think. Alright, rolling again. Alright, so I ended up rolling a 9, so 17. Oh yeah, we got this guy down. He is defeated, and so we are done with this guy. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to kill you with my big spear. Oh god. Oh gods. All of the gods above. Alright, let's go down to 44. You search the drunken fighter's body. You are pleasantly surprised he was carrying 400 shards. Ooh, we're going to go for that lantern if we can find the money for it. Let me add 4... I've got 420 shards. Let's see. 400 shards. Note this amount on your adventure sheet. You may also take his dagger. Ordinary weapon, compass, scouting +1, his quilted armor, defense 2, ordinary weapon. You are still keen to know where you might have met this man before. You question the tavern keeper, but she has never seen him before today. Okay, so I'm going to add these items to it because there's no reason not to loot everything. I can always sell the dagger later on. I wonder if there's like a randomized rolling for ordinary weapons, because it didn't give me an actual defense here. Maybe I can use it as a eating utensil. This is sort of Middle Age's sort of setting. Alright, that's very good. We actually got a little bit of extra defense here, and our scouting is now up to 7, so we're pretty sure of where we're going, I think. We're a pretty savvy rogue, I think. Here we go. Up to 40. Alright, so up to 42. In the old language of Southeast. Oh, okay. It actually sent us back outside. So now we can explore a little bit more. Let's. I really want to go back to the tavern. I like Call of Eagles. Oh man, I wonder if there's any way to romance people in here. I know that's kind of a weird thing to think, but I was kind of like, I wonder if Call of Eagles has a daughter. Oh, maybe they'll have like an expansion book just for romance options at different towns. That's a kind of cool idea. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of potential for growth in this. All right, so let's go. Hell, you know what? This is my adventure. I'm going to the Theater of the Obscure. Ah, if you have the code word Gazelle, turn to 69 immediately. If not, if you have the code word Grief, turn to 98. Otherwise, read on. The Theater of the Obscure is a modern decagonal building in the center of Dunpala. Stories say that it was designed by the dark sorcerer Malagan and built after his death using the vast fortune he'd amassed. I feel that could have gone towards like city ordinances or something. Its distinctive architecture is of the arcane significance. Those stories say Maligan's spirit swirls about the building's rafters, awaiting the precise astronomical confluence that will allow him to be reborn. I really love the dialogue in this. This is really well written in a very fluid, very fantasy setting-esque sort of language. It's beautiful. In the meantime, the Theater of the Obscure has become the cultural fulcrum of Dunpala. The building's walls are deep cherrywood red. Its interior is dark as still. Ooh, very mysterious. The few lanterns within are dim, suspended high up. Shadows are long, potential hiding places frequent. The troupe of actors that works out in the theater specializes in tales of horror, stories of fear and of the unseen and unknowable. The style is inside the theater reflects that theme. Ooh, I'm so excited. I need to find a bamboo invitation. This sounds marvelous. We should totally take in a show. Oh, we're gonna let's spend some shards here. And let's see. So 15 shards, that'll bring us down to 405. Let's take in a show, guys. Let's see what they have to show us. Maybe we'll get some lore from the world. That's a really good concept. See a performance, cross off 15 shards, turn to 91. Alright, 91. Decide which play you wish to see during your visit to the theater. Dlalan. Found a bit of a typo there. Let's make a note of that. Dlalan the Hunter, Song of Marenta, and Nopality of the Leaping Fish. Interesting. Yeah, don't worry, guys. Like I said, this is still being kickstarted right now. You can consider this sort of a beta test. Just consider this me finding a bug. Alright, so between these guys here, I think I really kind of want to see Song of Marenta. Alright, guys, I don't know how long I've been going with this one here. I think we should see a show, get a little bit more backstory, and then call it a wrap for right now. Let's see here. Song of Marenta. Turn to page 14. Let's just do it. This is my adventure. We're going to take in a show. Obviously, there's nothing else more important that we should be doing. 14. Marenta is a young girl with a tendency to tell lies. As she grows older, she increasingly begins to see spirits all around her. Such a gift is much prized, and yet the people of her village are familiar with her lies. Nobody believes Marenta except her aunt, who warns her that she must maintain a balance between the time she spends in Alaz Karakwen, the spirit realm, and Alaz Valara, the land of the living. Oh no! When Marenta's aunt dies, however, Marenta becomes addled by grief and seeks only to project her soul into the spirit realm, to be reunited with her aunt once more. And yet, in so neglecting Elaz Varala, she goes dangerously insane. It is only the intervention of her aunt in the spirit realm that saves her. Her aunt manages to sever Marenta's connection to the spirit realm once and for all. Her gift is lost, and she is known as Elia forevermore. Well, that's not a great story. Ah. Well, tragedy and comedy, they make up two aspects of theater. Turn to 42. Yeah, and 42 takes us back here to the town hall, the town square, I guess. All right, well, you know what? That is already really interesting, guys. Um, I'm actually really excited about trying to play a little bit more of this. I'll need to have hopefully a better setup so I can play this once the game is complete. So, you know, if you like what I've done here and you'd like to see more of this, download the demo yourself. It's on Kickstarter. We'll go to the main page here. All right, you look for Fabled Lands here on Kickstarter. We're going to start crowdfunding for this. I know I'm going to give my support. This is exciting. This has a lot of potential, guys, and it's well written. The art style is really good. I would kind of like to see something in the way of like a little bit more art, if possible. Maybe some of the other books will have more like little intermittent art bits in between text and whatnot. But gameplay wise, really easy to follow. Um, yeah, it combined with really flowery, fantasy style language, a setting that I find really interesting. Um, I'm excited, guys. I if this was up to me, I'd love to see more of this game. I'd love to play more of this game for you guys. Just check them out. Give your support. I know I'm going to. Thanks for joining me, guys. Check out the Kickstarter, and hopefully you'll be able to check out more stuff from this company. I know this is actually they've done more games than just this, so give them a look. Um, that's all for me, guys. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you'll join me again. But until then, cheers all.